Boy George is our guest today. That's Boy George of Culture Club fame, the androgynous lead singer of the British band who started in 1982 with Kissing to Be Clever, and then their second album, 1983's Color by Numbers. In 1992, he had his biggest solo hit with The Crying Game from the film. Since then, Boy George has become a DJ, playing underground house clubs around the world. His new album, This Is What I Do, released last year, is his first solo effort in 19 years. Today we are hearing performances recorded in front of an audience at World Cafe Live. We'll start with this new song called The King of Everything.
Let the demons win the fight. I drop my gloves to the ground. You know I'm sorry for the times I made you cry. I made it hard letting you down. Used to say it's only me I'm hurting, but I saw you on the stage. Crying and the dogs were howling and a siren filled the air. What's the word on the street? Have I lost my crown? Or will I be king again? What's the word on the street? Have I lost my crown? Will I be king of everything? Tempted myself time and time again, like self-destruction was so cruel. Marked your tears and the scar of your heart. I blame the past and I blame you. Used to say it's only me I'm hurting, but I saw you on the stage. The kid was crying and the dogs were howling and the siren filled the air. What's the word on the street? Have I lost my crown? Will I be king? What's the word on the street? Have I lost my crown? What's the word? Of everything. Standing outside of me, looking down. Thank you.
Live on stage at World Cafe Live, correct me, Boy George, if I'm wrong, the U.S. debut of this 9-piece band doing the music from This Is What I Do and so much more, just sounding fantastic.
Thank you. Yeah, we've just been touring in the UK and also in Europe, so we're kind of on fire right now.
Ooh, sounds
It's
great.
great to be here as well. We had great shows in Europe and big expectations of America. So it's been a while since I've played here, so quite a while.
19 years? 18?
Yeah,
Somewhere in
about that.
Wow.
No, I did something with Culture Club maybe 16 years ago, but it's been a while.
there? Wow. You were, I'm quoting you, I'm paraphrasing you because I can't say what you actually said, but you said something about, I'm not sure anybody cares about Boy George. And please, how was that today? I mean...
No. What I meant was, I think what I meant was that, you can't just sort of go out there. There's a lot of competition now. Everyone's a star. everyone's famous. I mean, it's literally everyone's famous. There's so much competition and so much to distract people. So you kind of, I've been away for a while. So, you know, what I meant was you can't just walk out and go, I'm back. Hi.
Yeah.
Turn up at Madison Square Gardens. You know, you have to build it up. So it's more about kind of reigniting people with what I do, you know.
Well, you got into that thing of kind of being famous for a little bit. And now you're hopefully going to be famous for making music again.
Well, I think when you first start out in this business, what happens is that you have all the best intentions in the world. You know, it's all about the music and you want to change the world, la, la, la. Then you become famous. And that becomes a job separate to everything else. That's like a full-time 24-hour job. You know, I mean, you look at people like Justin Bieber and Miley Cyrus, you know, they're in the paper every single day. And that was what it was like for me. So you can kind of get drawn into that. And I suppose because I've been kind of working in DJing for the last 25 years, I've been able to kind of avoid all of that for a bit. You know, not entirely, obviously, but here and there.
The first verse of that song we just heard, King of Everything, that opens up this new album, put down the booze, let the demons win the fight, drop my gloves to the ground. You know I'm sorry for the times I made you cry. I made an art out of letting you down. Who is that addressed to in the song? And does it have any resonance?
It does, but it's a kind of filmic song. It's about surrender, you know, it's about recovery. It's about recovery and about surrendering to change, you know. The song is actually about a guy singing to his wife. You know, he's singing to his wife who's holding his kid on the stairs. I wanted to kind of paint a sort of filmic picture. But of course, there's a lot of me in there, you know, because I have been in recovery for 6 years now, 6 years plus. So, you know, I'm kind of, and, you know, I guess, you know, the sort of artists that I love, like Dylan and Joni Mitchell, Leonard Cohen, they are people that kind of invest a lot of who they are in their work. So there's always a lot of me, 60%, sometimes more. Mm-hmm. But, you know, as you get older, you know, the songs change and how you want to say things changes. When you're young, you know, you're quite brittle, I think, and you don't really think about, you know, what anyone else thinks. But I think as you get older, you think, how do I want to say this? You know, I tend to breathe more now before I say things. It's an age thing.
So why was this the age and the right time to do this? Because as you say, you've been doing pretty well in the dance world.
Yeah, I mean, I just felt the urge, you know, to record again. I kind of changed management like 2 or 3 years ago, and I knew that it was time to kind of really change everything around me and look to work with new people who are able to kind of see me now rather than what I was, you know, because when you've had a very successful career, it's sometimes hard for people they kind of want you to keep doing it again, and it's like, you can't write those things. They're instinctual. I could never write another Karma Chameleon if you paid me. You know, it's what you do when you're 24. And then when you're 52, there's no chameleons. it's just none. So you have to kind of do what you're into. And this is always the kind of dilemma of any artist because, you know, you're always excited about what you're doing now. And people constantly try and say, yeah, but why don't you do that? It's like, well, no.
Well, it must feel kind of good to perform these and have the kind of response right off the bat you had today with the first couple of songs. People were right there.
Yeah, I think maybe the advantage of having a long break is like people like, put some music out, you know, it's been such a long time. So I think that's probably quite helpful for me, you know, in terms of getting people to react and to enjoy what I'm doing.
Yeah, well, it sounds great. Tell me about Bigger Than War. We'll play that one next.
Bigger Than War is, I guess, a kind of fun song. You know, it's about love, and it's about the fact that love is the biggest thing in the world, ultimately. And, you know, it's kind of, I would think of it as the kind of grown-up sort of brother to War is Stupid.
Wow. This is Bigger Than War, live on stage at World Cafe Live, Boy George.
And you can bounce if you want to. Hey! It's a bouncy kind of tune. Hey! Size it up if you wanted to. It's bigger than me. It's bigger than you. Songs you love, the ones you hate. I line of voodoo, yeah. Here we go again. Bigger than me, Lord. Bigger than you. Love is bigger than war, yeah. Bigger than me, right. learned from you. Everything I learned about love, like what not to do. Love, glorious love, makes you crazy, but you won't. That's New York love, London love, French, Italian, Jamaican love. Feels like midnight. Just like an add-on. It's here in its head. Better run for cover when love is in the air. Love is bigger than war. Bigger than you, Lord. Bigger than me, yeah. Love is bigger than war. Bigger than the Beatles, the Rolling Stones. Bigger than Elvis, when I go home. Bigger than you, yeah. Bigger than me, all right. Love is bigger than war. I can see right now. Bigger than. I wanna hear you sing. Love is bigger than war. Let me hear Philadelphia. Don't be shy. Love is bigger than war. Lord. Better believe it now. Love is bigger than war. One more time. I'm feeling you. Hey. Love is bigger than war. Thank you.
That is Bigger Than War. Boy George is our guest today, and that is a performance from this great band live on stage at World Cafe Live. From music is from This Is What I Do, or This Is What He Does. And so why in particular have you not been performing at all in the U.S.? Was there any reason for it?
Well, there was a period where I wasn't allowed in for a while.
That'll hamper you.
And then, yeah, that was kind of sorted out like 2 years ago. I got a kind of year visa, and I came over to DJ for 6 weeks, which was amazing. And I started off in Seattle, and I literally did a dance when I got through customs. I was like, I'm in. And, you know, it's in a way, you know, when I had my problems with my visa, you know, one of the questions I was asked, you know, by the American embassy was, why do you want to go to America? And I was like, well, for me, it's a kind of measure of where I am. You know, if I can go and play in America and get on with my career, it's a real measure of where I've got to in terms of my sobriety, and it just allows me to kind of move on. So it was a really, really important thing to, you know, that initial getting through customs. They didn't stop me. Hey! And yeah, and I'm just very excited about playing over here. And, you know, there's a kind of enthusiasm that exists in America that we don't really have in the UK. You know, it's like, I just want more of that.
Yeah. So here's a question. Is sobriety easier in the rock and roll world or in the dance world?
Well, I think it's difficult in any world, but once you've kind of made that decision to, you know, if I look at all the things that I've achieved in the last 2 years alone, you know, it's been monumental in terms of my appearance, you know, just personal happiness. There's been so much change. And none of that would have been possible without sobriety. So, you know, it's a, to use an American term, it's a no-brainer. You know, it's I wouldn't trade what I have now for anything. And this particular tour, you know, although I've done huge stadiums, I've done Madison Square Gardens, I actually did say to the band in Europe, this is my favorite tour I've ever done.
Wow, that's great.
You know, I've really, really, I think, been very present. And that's something I used to hear, you know, years ago. Be present in your life. And I was like, what do you mean? Kind of get it now, you know.
So can we talk a little bit about your DJ career, because you've done really, really well with that. You're a house DJ. Is that what you specialize in?
Yeah, house DJ, and house music actually came from America. So, you know, it's a bit like kind of selling, you know, ice to the Eskimos. I play a kind of what I would consider to be a kind of more authentic sort of American house style And then you have this thing now called EDM, which is actually quite European sounding.
Mm-hmm.
So we just lost Frankie Knuckles, who was a legendary American DJ and producer. And that's kind of the style that really I play, sort of quite, sort of American style.
And is the audience for that different than I used to these EDM concerts and they're just huge and they're just everybody waiting for the drop.
Well, I don't play those.
Yeah.
I haven't been invited to play those big places. But my thing is more kind of underground clubs, and there is a crossover sometimes. There are some fans who like dance, There are people that like all kinds of music, but there is a kind of separation because, dance music is, if you don't like it, it's not something you're going to enjoy. It's kind of, some people just think of it as a thud.
Yeah.
But I love it. I absolutely love it.
And it is so parallel. I mean, it's like nobody knows you're doing that.
No, you can literally go on and on for years and people say, what do you do now? So, I DJ in clubs.
Let's go back to the stage of World Cafe Live and hear this other new one. This is Live Your Life. Boy George, our guest today.
Rico. Live your life. Hey. Everybody knew the boy was strange. They raised him in whispers, oh how they prayed. The demons would go away. Yeah. His daddy was cruel, he tried to make him tough. Always afraid to give him too much love. Yeah. Too much love. Running, 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 what a waste of time. No one you can be but your good self. Bigotry and hatred and too much life. Now is the time to live your life. No second chance, you can't rewind. No, you can't rewind. Everybody says the boy will change. Many years are gone, but the truth remains. The truth remains. Oh. Running, 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 what a waste of time. No one you can be but your good self. Bigotry and hatred and too much life. Now is the time to live your life. No second chance, you can't rewind. No, you can't rewind. Now is the time. Running, running, running. Your good self. Bigotry and hatred and too much life. Hey, live your life. Beautiful. Hey, live your life. Rico. Hey. Live your life, come on, yeah. Oh, come on. Christie.
Live Your Life from the stage of World Cafe Live as we're getting a chance to not only hear these great tracks recorded at World Cafe Live, but to talk to Boy George about them. There is such a comfortable ska and reggae vibe to this album. Did you set out to write it that way, or how did it come out?
Well, there's always been a lot of reggae in what I've done. You know, Do You Really Want to Hurt Me, Everything I Own. Reggae's been quite good to me in my career. And I suppose growing up in the 70s, you know, we had a lot of reggae in the early 70s in the UK because there were a lot of Jamaicans that moved to the UK in the 50s, so they brought that sound with them. So I've kind of grown up with it, you know, and reggae is another one of those things, you either love it or you don't love it, you know, and I absolutely just love it. It's one of those, you know, when I hear Bob Marley, I just can't stop moving, you know, it's... I find it quite infectious, but there are people that don't like it, and I think they're weird. How can you not like that? I mean, it's a sunshine music, you know, and when the sun comes out, it's, you know, it's all you hear everywhere, you know, it's amazing.
Coming up, more with Boy George doing a version of one of his biggest Culture Club hits that definitely has a reggae vibe as we get back to our interview coming up on the World Cafe. More of our conversation with Boy George coming up. He has a new album, This Is What I Do, released in 2013. It is his first solo effort in 19 years. We're hearing performances recorded in front of an audience at World Cafe Live. His band Culture Club was a fixture of the new romantic scene in the 80s and was enormously successful with the first 3 singles from their debut, Kissing to Be Clever, reaching the top 10 in the U.S. That included this song. Here is a live version of Do You Want to Hurt Me?
Give me time to realize my crime, Lord. Let me love and steal. I have danced inside your eyes. Yes, I have, Lord. How can I be real, Lord? Do you really want to hurt me? Do you really want to make me cry? Precious kisses, words that burn me, Lord. Those lovers never ask you why. In my heart the fire's burning. I choose my colors, find a star. Precious people always tell me, yeah, that's a step too far. Do you really want to hurt me? Do you really want to make me cry? Give it up, Philadelphia. Beautiful. Make me cry. Oh, oh, oh. selection. Words are few I have spoken. I could waste 1,000 years. Wrapped in sorrow words are token. Just come inside and catch my tears. You've been talking, but believe me, if it's true, you just don't know. This by love's without a reason. I'm prepared to let you go. If it's love you want from me, then take it away. Everything's not what you see. It's over once again. Do you really want to hurt me? Tell me, do you really want to make me cry? How sweet. Make me cry. Rico. Lickle. Rico. One selection, chocolate. I chat for the white and black. Hey, hey, hey. Love is a dangerous thing. Love is a hurting thing. Lord. Hey! Do you really want to hurt me? Do you really want to make me cry? Make me cry. Hey! Do you really want to hurt me? Make me cry. Make me. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Do you really want to hurt me? I think you know that one, and I think you know who did it. Boy George from Culture Club, from his new album "This Is What I Do," is our guest today on the cafe. And there was, I'm not sure of all the how this works out, but there was kind of an abortive Culture Club getting together, and then you shut it down, and now you're doing some. Am I right? And then you're doing some recording, or
Well, what happened was we got together like 2 years ago, and we were all a bit rusty, has to be said. So we kind of attempted to write, and I just felt that I needed to go off and make my own record to sort of get myself ready, kind of match ready for them. And then the beginning of this year, we did a couple of weeks at my house writing, and it was great. It was really, really positive, and everyone got on great. And I think we have the basis of a really good new album. So we start recording pretty much after I get back from here. We do 2 weeks in May, and then we do some more recording in June. And then there's talk of some dates in the later in the year this year.
wow, that's fantastic. That's really great. Switching subjects, I'd love to hear about your growing up, because I'm curious as to whether you kind of wanted to be some kind of an entertainer, some kind of a star, or you wanted to be a musician early on. What was driving you? Which end of that, or are they kind of interrelated?
I think, music for me as a kid was like the ultimate escape. It was a fantasy realm, and I spent a lot of time. I shared a room with 4 brothers, and whenever they went out, the lights would go off, the stereo would go on, and I'd be listening to all sorts of things. And as a young kid, there was no discretion musically. I loved everything. As you get a bit older, you get a bit cool, and I don't like that anymore. But I grew up listening to a lot of jazz, a lot of kind of traditional Irish music because of my family, and then all the greats like Sinatra and Tony Bennett and all the kind of, Dinah Washington. So I grew up around music, but my family wasn't musical. My dad used to sing at weddings. He'd sing like Danny Boy, and he had quite a good voice. I think the music thing came from my grandfather, my mother's father, Frank, who was really a very creative man. And My mum always says that's where it came from. I saw my first David Bowie concert when I was 11 years old and 11 months, about 2 months before my 12th birthday. I don't know how I pulled that off, but I did manage to get a ticket, and my dad actually took me to the gig, and it was a life-changing moment for me. And that was the beginning, like seeing David Bowie as Ziggy Stardust. That was the beginning of me wanting to be, you know, I don't know, different. You know, I loved music. I mean, back then, obviously these days, everybody can be famous pretty much. You know, there's reality shows and there's all these different ways of doing it. But back then, the idea of becoming a musician was just so fantastical. If you went into school and said, I want to sing, they just look at you and go, yeah, be realistic, son. You know, you're going to work in a factory. Yeah. So I kind of had all my brothers worked for my father. My father was a builder, so he had his own firm. So all my brothers left school and worked for my dad. And I just knew that that wasn't going to be my future, you know, from a very early age. I knew that I wasn't going to do that. And here I am, you know, all these years later.
Wow. And then when Culture Club hit, you became, for many people, the androgynous, the gay MTV icon, and there was nobody else really quite where you were. How has that changed for you? When you're thinking about that, I know you don't like to talk a lot about the 80s.
Oh, no, I don't mind the 80s.
Oh, okay, good.
They were good to me.
Yeah, yeah.
I think, you know, it's a funny thing when you're famous, people kind of almost let you get away with anything, you know. So being gay and famous isn't the same as like being gay and living in, you know, Arkansas, you know, on a remote town. You know, it's funny, like when you're famous, people kind of go, yeah, but they're all gay, you know, and sort of, you know, you get away with a lot more. I don't know how different it is in the real world. I mean, I think, yes, there have been amazing changes, and that's a wonderful thing, you know, to see. And it's certainly in America, one of the things that I experience a lot in America is that people do come up to me a lot and say, thank you for helping me be who I am. And that's quite amazing, you know, for me, you know, to think that just by being myself, because that's really what I was doing at 17, 19. I wasn't thinking about the social implications of my behavior. I was just thinking, I'm 17 and I can do what the hell I like. And I'll wear what I like and no one's going to tell me what to do. Consequently, you know, that obviously when MTV came along and took us into people's living rooms, you know, in Arkansas and Alabama and Texas, there were all these young kids that went, in the same way that I did with David Bowie. When I saw David Bowie, I was like, okay, there's other people that might be a little bit like me out there. Right. And so that's, you know, an important kind of legacy for me, you know, that people were kind of touched in that way, you know.
So when you go out, when you get up in the morning, when you go out, are you ever not Boy George?
Always not Boy George.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, you know, when you're younger, you kind of, you know, you feel like you first got famous, you think, I've got to always look perfect, you know. But these days, no, I'm super scruff. In fact, one of the fun things that ever happened to me was I did a track with Dolly Parton, and she was in London. And when she saw me in my like ordinary outfit, she was just appalled. And she said, "You go out like that?" I was like, every day. She was like, "Oh my God." She said, I couldn't, you know, she said, I was so terrified that I would be paparazzi. And I was like, oh, no one even sees me, you know. But I think for me, you know, dressing up for stage is fun, and then sort of disappearing when you're not on stage is great too. And people don't, I mean, there was a time when I literally couldn't go anywhere without people stopping me, but now people don't. I think the beard, people just don't. I mean, I'm sure after a while they'll get used to it and they'll be like, oh, I know who you are. But at the moment, I just literally walk around all the time and nobody bothers me. It's kind of bonkers.
That is so funny you bring that up, because I interviewed Dolly Parton, and she came in full Dolly Parton for a radio interview.
Immaculate.
And I said, what? And she says, I got to do this. Yeah. So, or she obviously loves it.
Yeah,
so,
no, she's amazing. I mean, yeah, I think we could all learn from her. You know, she's a really consummate professional. I try.
Okay, God is in numerous lyrics throughout this record, and what's your relationship with the subject of
with God?
Yes, well, tell me. What's your relationship with Mr. God?
You know what? We have this conversation a lot in the band, you know, because I do often sing about faith and spirituality and God. I suppose in a way I practice Buddhism, so that's what I do. And I think it's kind of, I just think of kind of godliness as being kind of all the things in the world that are kind of positive and great. Do you know what I mean? I was sort of, so the song on the album, My God, is really, I think it's a kind of celebration of faith. It's saying if you have God in your heart, you should be the happiest person on the planet. You should be handing out fruit and, doing a dance. I'm always surprised when I meet people who say they're religious or spiritual and they're kind of grumpy. And I think, well, doesn't that kind of contradict the whole thing? So I sort of see, in a very naive hippie way, the whole kind of subject of God and spirituality and all of that as kind of something really positive and something that, should kind of help you aspire to be better. That's in Buddhism, we don't worship Buddha, but we try to be like the Buddha. The Buddha was someone who lived his life in a very elevated, way. And so that's what you try to be every day. So you just try to be like the Buddha and fail, obviously, constantly.
Well, this is that song, a live version of the song from the disc called My God.
Hallelujah, yeah. Man gives me the book of God, and I turn to him and say, I wouldn't be here, my friend, if I had no faith. Here in the darkness, I became the light. Had to get it wrong to get it right. He crossed himself, and I shook my head. I said, Jesus loves me, don't you know? My God is bigger than your God. My God is better than yours. Yeah. Put your bombs away. You need a little more faith. Don't you know what your heart is for? You should know what your heart is. Man for the poor lost his shoe in a taxi. Yeah, but stole it. So the devil down in New York City, all dressed up like a saint. You were in your 40 crown and your war paint. Precinct number 6, the blue boys took you down. Watch you fall apart like Faye in Chinatown. Crossed himself, and I shook my head. I said, Jesus loves you, don't you know? My God is bigger than your God. My God is better than yours. Put your bombs away. You need a little more faith. Don't you know what your heart is for? You should know what your heart is for. New York baby blues, yeah. Philadelphia for freedom, baby. Bowie on Broadway. I was paying for your stuff, but I couldn't say you no. That's it. Thank you for such a lovely, lovely reception. Whoa. I'm so glad to be back in America.
Boy George from This Is What I Do, and that is My God, a great performance live on stage at World Cafe Live. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks to Boy George. Coming up, we have one more very special live track from his visit when we get back to the World Cafe. Again, thanks to Boy George for such an eye-opening interview and some great performances. They are up at our website at worldcafe.npr.org, and so is a video of this song. It turns out that on the same day Boy George was at the World Cafe, the Black Lips were here, and each knew that the other did a version of the T-Rex song, Bang a Gong, Get It On, in their set, so they decided to do it together. Recorded live for the World Cafe, Boy George and Black Lips.
Understand me, you're dirty and sweet out here. With your slim and your weak, got the teeth of a hideout upon you. You're dirty, sweet, and you're my girl. Yeah. Get it on, then you go. Get it on, yeah. Get it on, then you go. Get it on, child. Get it on, then you go. Get it on, yeah. Get it on, then you go. Get it on, yeah. Get it on, let me see you clap it. Then you go, yeah. Come on. Get it on, then you go. Get it on, yeah. Get it on, then you go. Get it on, yeah. Then you go. Get it on. Hey! Thank you. You can do this. You can do this. Let me help you.